Kerry from left to right in the first half. Lots of movement already around the place. Forwards running this way, backs trying to follow. Padraig Reedy there pursuing James Masters out of the corner of my eye. I can pick up. Donaghy is in full forward. And we're ready for the start. Listen to the roar. It's the beginning of the 118th All-Ireland football final. Seems like a Munster football final. Munster final moved to Croke Park. And straight away Mark O'Shea fouled in possession. Free to Kerry, taken by his brother Tomos. Ger Spillane over there, not quite able to hold it. The ball is going to be a little bit greasy. Michael Shields keeping it away from Brian Sheehan. Going low to take it here is Michael Cosson, 6'7" tall, trainee Garda. Darragh O'Shea knows this scene so terribly well. Kerry with the All-Ireland final experience. Been here so many times. Paul Galvin. And that is going to be a free to Cork. Not the best. Sliding it to take it once again is Mark O'Shea. Here's Aidan O'Mahony, pursued by Kevin McMahon. Darragh O'Shea. The O'Shea's so influential for Kerry, but that's a poor kick away. Straight to Michael Shields. McMahon letting it in. Trying to provide the ammunition inside for James Masters. And sliding off the boot of Padraig Reedy. He's claiming he was being tugged.
Yeah, the game has opened a little bit nervous on both sides. Actually, you've had a flurry of poor passes. And one switch I think is worth noting is Tomás O'Shea has gone centre-half back and he's marking Pearse O'Neill.
He's done that in the past. That is spilled, recovered by Tom O'Sullivan. In trouble himself there. Fouled by Conor McCarthy. Free to Kerry. Down towards Owen Brosnan, and he's been marked by Noel O'Leary. They've kept Noel O'Leary away off Paul Galvin. That's interesting. Two men who've known to have a bit of a fiery temper. That's James Masters. Coming down towards Pearse O'Neill. Gathered in securely. And fouling him is Tomás O'Shea in the view of the match referee. Here's what happened again.
Yeah, I think Tomás O'Shea definitely holds on to Pearse O'Neill in that case, and again O'Neill gets the chance, or James Master rather, gets the chance to put Cork into the lead.
Well, this will be taken by the man who's come back, received that facial injury in the match against Sligo at the quarter-final stage. At that particular time in the season, I think he felt the season of the championship was over. But he's back, and he's got the opening point of the day. In the third minute, Cork go in front, and that's a confidence booster for James Masters.
Yeah, one of the things we wondered about at the beginning of the game was where Michael Cousins would play. He's actually playing in an orthodox full forward position, being marked by Tom O'Sullivan. And again, Aidan O'Mahony has gone to a favoured position at wing back, where he's marking Kevin McMahon.
And up at the other end, Kieran Donaghy is in full forward. Seamus Scanlon jumping for this one, lets it drop down. McMahon there trying to take it, surrounded by Kerry players. It's Aidan O'Mahony, Mark McCartney was talking about there. Lobbing it in dangerously. All taken by Alan Quirk. Oh, not the best of passes out to John Miskela. Paul Galvin had 3 shots in the semi-final against Dublin. In the opening 4 minutes, got 2 points. There's a little block on that one by Derek Kavanagh. I think he just took the heat out of it anyway. Kerry's first wide. Paul Galvin.
Yeah, I think all that was very, very tight indeed. A nice little 1-2 between Galvin and Kieran Donaghy. But again, the shot selection was from a difficult enough position. And again, good pressure be put on by Derek Kavanagh.
Well, there's the match-up there. It's John Miskela who is picking up Paul Galvin. Well, they're playing in the positions in which they were selected. But there was always the feeling that Galvin on Noel O'Leary, and you never know what might happen. Here's Conor McCarthy, who played back around midfield, foraged quite a lot. Derek Kavanagh, the captain. That bounces away once again from Mark O'Shea's hands into the centre of the park. Nicholas Murphy. Taken down here by Donnacha O'Connor. It's such a good semi-final. Again, another wayward pass here, gathered in by Padraig Reedy. Not the best of starts made by either team, although Cork have the lead. Here's Aidan O'Mahony. Thundering through the centre this time. The other number 6 after him. The all-star Jer Spillane does well. O'Mahony holds on securely. Nice release to Owen Brosnan. Kerry recycle again with O'Mahony. Last year's man of the match in the All-Ireland final. And that's over the bar. Wonderful shot. Well, he's delighted with that. They are as well, the Kerry fans up there in Hill 16, sharing the space with the Cork supporters, the neighbours enjoying the opening of the tie. And that's where Aidan O'Mahony tied it up, 1 point apiece.
Yeah, I thought both teams are typically nervous at the beginning, but Aidan O'Mahony settled down very well, seemed to be more comfortable playing in a wing-back position, and that team persevered very well and took a good score.
Well, there's a requirement now for some attention for one of Pat O'Shea's players. Pat O'Shea in his first All-Ireland final with the senior team. Billy Morgan's been there many times before. I think it's the 35th time that Billy is up against a Kerry side, either as a player or as a coach. It's some record.
Yeah, wonderful record indeed, again going back over 40 years. But the thing that has surprised me today is both teams are so orthodox at the moment. Again, playing a very much a six forwards up front, no flooding in the midfield. I thought Cork would have been much more defensive actually than they have actually started.
Well, Aidan O'Mahony after that clash is okay. He's back in the action again. The physio's done her job. Megan Goulding. So a kick out for Cork from the 20-metre line. Alan Quirk, their Army officer goalkeeper. Thundering shoulder there on Derek Kavanagh. Another one then coming in on Declan O'Sullivan. Cork well aware of the danger that Declan O'Sullivan will possess as an attacking option. And Kieran Donaghy, bit of a push that time. He's penalised, doesn't agree with the referee's decision. This is where the ball's coming in between them again, holding off his man being Graham Canty. Back with the action, Kevin McMahon. Oof, did he throw the ball to himself? He did, fouled the ball. Untypical. Untypical,
and again, a little bit of indecision in his part. Again, maybe inexperience and all of that, but nobody was really making a move for him to actually, so as he could, release the ball.
Colin Cooper ready to take this. Towards Donaghy. Canty easily in control of that situation. Rated the best full-back in the country at the moment. Great shoulder. He takes it easily and comfortably from Paul Galvin. Good start for him.
Great start for Canty. He's won the first couple of balls in tussles with Kieran Donaghy, and again leading by example from the back. Very, very strong and coming out for the ball.
Well, it was the punch in the end there by Paul Galvin that the referee has penalised. Free taken by John Miskala. Derek Kavanagh back towards Kieran O'Connor. Here comes Jer Spillane. A very good season last year. O'Connor slipping, fouled as he was doing so by Brosnan. Free to Cork. Ticking there for Owen Brosnan for that last foul, dragging his man back. Spillane getting good distance, breeze blowing across the field if anything, and that's going to be a free in for Cork. And Michael Cousins that time making his presence felt, and Tom O'Sullivan has picked up a ticking for that.
Yeah, Tom O'Sullivan is a very difficult job actually if he's going to play Michael Cousins from behind in situations. Okay, when it's in and around the goals you can expect him to play from behind, but that time I thought he should have been out in front, and I think had he been, he'd have won the ball on Cousins.
Well, Cork have free takers for the right-hand side and for the left-hand side. So left of goal, it's the man with the right boot from Ballydesmond. Donnacha O'Connor will take it, watched by his dad, Dan, who's a Kerry man. Catches it really well. Over the bar. Cork's first 2 points in this match come from frees, from Masters and now from O'Connor, and they lead by 2 points to 1.
Yes, that's a wonderfully struck free. Again, a difficult enough free because the wind is swirling there quite a bit at the moment, and that was struck with great confidence.
Kerry take the short kick out that time and get away with it. Cork were retreating, expecting a long one into the centre of the park. That'll be interesting to see if Kerry, in fact, do decide to use short kick-outs quite frequently during the game to bypass the height advantage that the Cork men would appear to enjoy in the centre of the park. Darragh O'Shea's made a lot of ground up towards Kieran Donaghy, last year's Player of the Year. Huge one in. It was intended for Gooch. Cork gets there instead. Good goalkeeping. Very solid number one for Cork. Ger Spillane just about getting it out. In difficulty. Picked up here by Declan O'Sullivan, the Kerry captain. O'Leary coming in to challenge, and then Shields as well. Between them they got him, but the referee didn't like the nature of the challenge, and for the sandwich it's a Kerry free in.
Yes, I think it was Cousin and Shield actually made a sandwich of Owen Brosnan at that time. And again, it must be said, Cork are applying great pressure in every area of the field to date.
So Declan O'Sullivan's foul results in Brian Sheehan getting a chance to put this one over the bar. Just left of goal. Man from St Mary's, usually very good at these, playing today in his 17th championship match. Catches it perfectly, nicely over. Match tied, 2 points apiece.
I must say he's a most beautiful style of place kicking, a very languid style, strikes the ball beautifully, somewhat like Maurice Fitzgerald used to strike it. Knows
Cork very well. He's at college down in CIT, along with a whole rake of others. It's Sigerson Cup medal winner in the past. Alan Quirk straight down the centre to try and win the ball, and Michael Cusson came out to collect that kick out. That may well be the tactic. Noel O'Leary now. Oh, it's a great block down, brilliantly done by Owen Brosnan. Seamus Scanlon next to pick it up here. Darragh O'Shea, his midfield partner, back once again to Brosnan, and with that great block. Good counter-attacking by Kerry. The champions set off looking for the lead point here, and there's a foul inside, and the referee shows the notebook to Michael Shields, and it is a black card for him, a ticking. And furthermore, it's a free in right in front of goal, and a gilt-edged opportunity now for Kerry to seize the lead here. This was the block moments ago here by Owen Brosnan. As his critics, but he works really hard. Shows great endeavour. The Gooch kicking and putting it over. First point of the match for him, and Kerry are in front, 3-2. First time they lead.
Yeah, again, just going back to that block, Kerry recycled the ball very, very well after that. In fact, Donaghy fielded it very well, and again, the free was given by Goulding for a free by Shields on Sheehan.
Let's go down to Marty Morrissey on the sideline. Marty.
Thank you, Jared. Just an observation. Billy Morgan seems to be getting a little bit frustrated and has informed the linesman Maurice Deegan of a lot of off-the-ball activity going on. He was quite vociferous just a few moments ago, and Maurice Deegan did tell the referee by walkie-talkie that some of this is going on behind his back.
Interesting. Well, we can only follow the ball and see what we can see. It's been a first 12, nearly 13 minutes of a lot of frees. 17 frees so far in this All-Ireland final. Not a healthy statistic. That's Tomas O'Shea kicking into the side, missing his opportunity. Second wide for Kerry.
Yeah, it's all been a very messy game up to now. Again, far too much stop-start nature to it. Interestingly enough, at the moment, Michael Cusson has started to come out the field quite a bit and leave two men in the Cork full forward line. And in particular for the Cork kickouts, he's picking up a position in or around the left side of midfield.
At the moment, it is Tomas O'Shea who's picking him out. The two managers with a big task on their hands this afternoon. Alan Quirk straight down the centre. Touched by Derek Cavan initially, but won back by the very industrious Seamus Scanlon. Now Killian Young. Inside towards Donaghy. Knocks it down. They wait for it. Brian Sheehan trying to get onto it, but it's John Miskela instead. Graham Canty has it. Looks around. Plays it securely to Conor McCarthy. Good backup support there from Ger Spillane. They set away with John Miskela. Coming back, Kevin McMahon. Many players foraging. Now the quick release inside to Donegal O'Connor. As Masters forward as a colleague. Needs support. Gets it from Conor McCarthy. Derek Kavanagh. Kerry get a chance to get their players back. The break wasn't quickly enough done by Cork. They hold it, however. That's Masters. High up into the air. Fisted away there from Declan O'Sullivan. And the referee saw another foul, and the notebook has shown this time to Mark O'Shea. Well, the referee has been busy showing the cards. They're all black cards so far. This is where O'Shea was coming out and pushing Donnacha O'Connor down. Chance then for Cork to tie it up here. And once again, it's going to be the Ballydesmond player who will take it.
Yeah, I think because it's a local derby, David Coldrick is actually having a zero tolerance approach to fouling at the moment. Any niggle at all or any slight foul or half foul is being blown by the referee.
Well, 1 from 1 so far for the number 15. This to level the game. He's done exactly that. He's certainly on his game. All of Cork's scores so far coming from place balls. And we've only had 1 point of the match so far from play, and that was from the number 6 of Kerry, Aidan O'Mahony.
Yeah, neither forward line is getting much space at the moment. The emphasis is on defending from both sides, or from both teams, and again, space is at a premium out there, Ger.
It'll loosen out eventually. Diarmuid Murphy. Kick to the centre. Again, there's a push, bit of pushing. Free to Cork, who have the majority of possession so far, it would appear. Declan O'Sullivan cutting inside, getting it onto the right and back. Paul Galvin, and Paul Galvin puts it to the left. It was a good chance.
Yeah, very good chance that time from Paul Galvin. Had more time than he realised, but at the moment the Kerry forwards are very nervous. They're not settling in the game at all. The two big guys, neither Donaghy nor Cooper, are managing to get into the game, and just, you know, both teams are taking a long time to settle.
Well, it's interesting that so far, in terms of scoring chances created, Kerry have been doing better, creating 6 scoring chances to Cork's 3. For the Whites, 3 for the Kingdom. Scanlon back in, the goalkeeper comes, he misses, and it's in the back of the net, and it's Colin Cooper. A goal and 3 points in the 17th minute. It should have been a goalkeeper's ball, you would feel, when it was played in invitingly by Seamus Scanlon, but the Gooch got there first and put in his 12th championship goal. And Kerry lead 1-3 to 3 points. Also
simple indeed. Alan Quirk will certainly look back on that with a lot of regret. Shouldn't have come out that time. The back was Cooper was well covered by the defender, but go back onto the kick-out before that. The kick-out was won very simply around the midfield in order that the ball was delivered into Cooper in the first place. Well,
I'm certain that the one thing that Billy said to his team is don't give away goals easily to Kerry. Conor McCarthy down towards Masters, getting there ahead of Padraig Reedy, causing a few problems for the number 4, and he's got a noting as well. The black card was flashed in his direction. What a boost that is for Pat O'Shea's team.
Yeah, and funny enough, a moment before that we've been talking about how little Cooper was in the game, but again that time there was no communication whatsoever between Quirk and Kieran O'Connor. I think it was Kieran O'Connor at the time was on Cooper, and again it was a goal that Cork will look back on with great regret.
Masters is going to hit this. It was mentioned before the game that Cork didn't have a lot of height in that full back line apart from Graham Canty. Maybe the goalkeeper felt, I have to come out and try and get it. Masters, 1 so far, and he's put it wide. Big miss.
Yeah, they needed an immediate response actually to that Kerry goal. That was a bad miss, and again to miss a free like that in your own side is something that shouldn't happen. There was the ball, one clean, I think it was by Owen Brosnan again. Scanlon delivered a ball, hopeful, into the edge of the right into the middle of the penalty area, and again Cooper took it very well.
Well, if the goalkeeper's going to come for that, he's really got to get it. Here's Reedy. Tomas O'Shea. Played forward once again here. Killian Young loves to attack. An incisive ball across here to Kieran Donaghy. Back in towards Cooper. Causing problems from Kieran O'Connor again, and O'Connor's in real trouble, and so are Cork. It's a goal and 2 points now for Colin Cooper. Kerry 1-4. Cork 3 points, and the Kingdom fans absolutely enjoying this opening quarter of the match. 3 chances he's got, 1 from a free, 1 goal from a punch, and now from play. He steals in past Kieran O'Connor, and that matchup is in difficult. Straight away you can see it.
That was absolutely devastating again by Cooper, who will be disappointed actually that he didn't put that in the net. But again, the quality, the low ball that time that went into Donaghy caught the Cork defence off guard. And again, Donaghy's understanding with Cooper really manifested itself.
Cusson punching it on this time. 1 back again by Kerry. Many of the loose balls, the breaks are being picked up in the centre of the park by the tough, hard-working Kerry men, led by Tomas O'Shea. But this time, foul committed, free to Cork. So rocky spell for the Rebels right now, beaten in the Munster final, of course. They need to remain calm, focused, pick off a few scores. That's in towards Donaghy O'Connor, and he's got a thump into the back that time by Tomas O'Shea, who hasn't been noted so far, but he has now.
Yeah, that was very much a deliberate foul. Again, it was the movement of the Cork forward line that time, the crisscrossing of them that they went on with the caught Kerry defence off guard, and again he gave away an unnecessary free. 4
of the 6 backs for Kerry now have had a black card already shown. This a much easier kick for James Masters, and this to put 3 points between the teams again. He's got it. Clipped over with ease. 1-4 to 4 points. James Masters second today, which means his tally for the season so far is 3 goals and 29 points. Good going.
Yeah, and I think the thing we've seen so far, 21 minutes gone, all the scores from Cork have come from frees. They're finding it very difficult to get room from the Kerry defence to get scores from play.
That's fisted away again into the centre of the park. This free to be taken here by Tomas O'Shea. Inside towards Donaghy. Looking to turn this way and that, almost taking too much out of it, then getting in the solo before Nicholas Murphy can come in. Declan O'Sullivan holding it up. Again, a probing ball in there. Brosnan's about. He spells danger usually. And in the end, it is Paul Galvin who kicks, and that is over the bar. Good point by Paul Galvin, who used to teach in Cork City, now teaches in Killarney. And Brosnan was in there. He's such a great goal record for Kerry in championship football. This time it fell to Galvin. He wasn't going to miss. 4 between them again.
Yeah, one of the things you notice actually is that in all of those scores that Cork have got, or that Kerry have got from playing the last while, Graham Canty's been absent, been drawn out of the side quite a bit. As a result, the gap and the absence of a big man is absent in the full back line.
Let's go down to Marty.
Well, there's good news in terms of the scoreboard for Kerry. Pat O'Shea, the manager, is a little bit annoyed with his defence. He's sent down a water boy deliberately down to his full back line, telling them to stop fouling and get in front of their men every single time.
Canty is now on Gooch. Donaghy's been marked by Michael Shields. He's got it, and he can't steer it on target, and he goes to the referee immediately and appeals that he was being fouled. They all appeal for a penalty. The referee is having nothing of it.
Well,
Hots up.
I definitely think he's a case in point that time again. Donaghy won the ball cleanly that time and was dragged to the ground, and actually I think Goulding, should have called for a penalty.
Let's have a look at it again here. Here he is going by. Michael Shields as his marker.
Yes, he's
been dragged down. Well, let's have a look to see how much of a drag it really was.
He certainly pulls him by the jersey there. And just at that point, he released the shot, but I thought it should have been a penalty.
I think the referee had a look at it and said, yeah, he had an arm on him, but I'm not sure that he said there was any downward pressure. I think that may be how the referee read it.
Well, that's how the referee read it, but I definitely think the jersey pulled of him.
No penalty was given anyway, and it's Darragh O'Shea, and this is a great spell for Kerry. 4 points to the good, leading by double scores, and the Gooch has it again. New marker is Graham Canty onto his left-hand side, and that one has gone to the right of the goal. 5th wide now for Kerry.
There's a lot of areas leaking for Cork at the moment. Again, Canty has gone over now on Cooper, as you say. Again, Michael Shields is marking Kieran Donaghy. Both of them are struggling with their respective duels.
Well, the kick-outs so far have been very poor from Cork's point of view. They've varied it between short and long. They've only won 5 of the 10 so far.
That's right, and they've gone orthodox again, and Cousin has gone into the full forward position, and again Tomás O'Shea is marking him at the moment.
Cousin's back down at full forward, so it's Cork kicks. A lot of big tall men in the centre of the bar. Oh, there was a push there, I thought, by Darragh O'Shea on Nicholas Murphy. Anyway, Pearse O'Neill has it. He's fouled, free to Cork. Conor McCarthy to take. Here's Ger Spillane. Stealing away well here from Declan O'Sullivan. Not easy to do. Dished off as far as Masters. Has come very, very deep. Good block that time. Taken down well. O'Sullivan getting it forward. Reedy with the free kick. Comes to Galvin. Kerry fans urging him on. Masters is picking him up. It's a very strange situation. Cross here towards Colin Cooper. Gooch does well to keep it in play. Skipping away from the attentions of Graham Canty. Inside towards Donaghy once again. Shields his marker. Not able to get near him. Easy one for Quirk. Quick change of direction. And Noel O'Leary setting off this time. Ger Spillane taking the shoulder there from Donaghy. Oh, McCarthy back into McMahon once again. The raiding wing forward is going through the centre. And that in the end is Nicholas Murphy, fouled there by Brian Sheehan. A lot happening in the game. Kieran O'Connor. Cork come looking for scores. Donnacha O'Connor trying to nip inside. McCarthy back once again towards McMahon. Lobbed in towards Cusson. Catching it well, just as he did in Killarney, and just as he did in Killarney, he puts it over the bar. First point of the match for Michael Cusson. First time he's got a high ball in there to test his aerial superiority against the Kerry full back line. It's 1-5 to 5 points. This was a Michael Cusson special. Beautiful point.
Yeah, beautiful delivery though into him in the first place, and again the defender wasn't able to get up on him again. Hudson showed a lot of reassurance and a lot of confidence in putting that over. But again, in that attack prior to that, I thought the Cork attack were going nowhere with it. They seemed to be going over and back. They need that outlet of the long ball into Cousins more often. It's
taken Cork nearly 27 minutes to get a first point from play. From the kick out, Scanlon takes, is fouled. This is the 30th free of the match so far, and we're only in the 28th minute. Says an awful lot. It's quite a commentary on the match so far. Canty to Ger Spillane. Alan Quirk. Here comes Shields. Won an under-21 medal with Cork this year, looking for a double. Bit of a tall order at this stage, goal between them. Kerry looking the better side. The ticking this time for Brian Sheehan. Just going through my notepad, I think that's 7 Kerry players who've been ticked in the match by the referee. Here's Donnacha O'Connor, letting it off towards Cusson once again. Tom O'Sullivan's after him. Release back here to Conor McCarthy. Handling with difficulty, 2 Kerry players there. Spills back out again. Booted away by Mark O'Shea. Picked up by Derek Kavanagh with difficulty again. Stolen brilliantly here. This is Declan O'Sullivan, the Kerry captain. And O'Sullivan fouled in possession, free to the kingdom. Beautifully away. Slide rule pass as far as Colin Cooper. Quick look around then to see the movement ahead of him. Canty tries to prevent his progress. Referee is no more than a yard away. Said no foul, play on. Brosnan does. Heat taken out of that one before it can get to Michael Shields. Kicked away as far as Derek Kavanagh. A goal between them. We're in the 29th minute of the All-Ireland football final. All the way down, stopped here by Pádraig Reedy. It's heating up now quite considerably. Here comes Aidan O'Mahony. Nicely outside. Paul Galvin, points so far in the match. Again, he looks around. Good support play available to him. It's from Aidan O'Mahony. Loves to raid. Fancying his chances of a second. It's going to drop short for Alan Quirk to take. And out as far as John Miskela. Well, you really have to take your chances in a match of this high class, because you're going to be punished. The opposition get the ball and a chance to work it down into an attacking situation. Here's Pierce O'Neill. Derek Kavanagh going long, trying one. It's a perceptive ball down. It was Kieran O'Connor who was up with the attack, and he was fouled. Seamus Scanlon is ticked for his troubles. Scanlon keeping an eye on the arm and the jersey of the number 4 of Cork. Down they went. O'Connor first, Scanlon ticked, free to Cork.
Yeah, and credit Cork at the moment. They've regrouped very well, and again they're applying their style and controlling the tempo of the game over the last 5 minutes or so. And again, they're just keeping possession very well, and there's a lot more rhythm and an awful lot more composure coming into the game that we had seen earlier.
I wonder what Billy makes of Kieran O'Connor rating like that. He's got a couple of points in this year's championship. Well, there he is with a defensive job to do, and still he's prepared to run and run to try and get into an attacking part of the field. Masters with the free. 2 so far. Miss 1. This to put 2 between them. Straight over the bar. 1-5, that's 8 points for Kerry, 6 for Cork. Half an hour gone.
Yeah, half an hour gone, a lot of fouling, a lot of untidy play earlier on. There's an awful lot more rhythm to the game at the moment, an awful lot more clear thinking down there at the moment, but again, amazingly not a yellow card kind.
Well, the rain coming once again, and those in the unprotected area as well, having to reach for the shelter whatever they can, anything whatsoever. Max, coats, anything at all, caps, brollies. That's going to be a line ball in spite of the protestations there of Tomás O'Shea, who knows Cork very well. He's been teaching there for a long, long time. James Masters to take the sideline ball. This time it's O'Shea who got out there. Mark O'Shea got there as well, and in the end the ball has gone off one of the backs, they decide, although Mark O'Shea seemed to hit it off an attacker, and in the end the umpire says, you know something, you got it right. Let's have a look at it again and see what exactly happened here. Tom O'Sullivan in difficulty, and it came there off Donegal O'Connor, and the umpire and referee finally got it right. Yeah,
and the referee, to be fair, saw it as it correctly from the word go, and again overruled his umpire.
Dermot Murphy ready to kick this ball out. 32-year-old goalkeeper who had to bide his time before making the number 1 position of the Kerry team his own. Another push. This time the referee has spotted it. Darragh O'Shea gets the notebook. It's happened before. He got away with it the first time against Nicholas Murphy. Here's James Masters taking on Pádraig Reedy. Masters will need to get an angle. Hasn't any at the moment. Trying to make one. Ger Spillane outside of the boot. That's going to drop short, and there's a player in the square. It was Cosson, free out, quickly taken. Out as far as Scanlon. Declan O'Sullivan now to Kerry. Great control. Fine young player from South Kerry. Fouled by Donegal O'Connor this time, and he's shown the notebook. Into space, rather aimless. Gooch coming. Won by Miskell. Taken away here by Conor McCarthy. Down as far as another wing forward, Kevin McMahon. Got that goal in the second half against Meath. Runs away from him. He was looking one way. Lost his concentration. Lost possession to Aidan O'Mahony. O'Mahony looking around. Coming from a deep position, Tom O'Sullivan. Here's Seamus Scanlon. Again, controlled well by Declan O'Sullivan. Tomás O'Shea. 11 minutes since Kerry have scored in this match. They'll be worried about that. O'Shea outside to Donaghy, who peels away from his man, who is Michael Shields, in around the top of the left position at this stage, having a go. Very ambitious. The other players will let him know, I think, what they thought of that one, because they've just given the possession away to Cork, who can now counter-attack.
Yeah, and they've lost their shape completely in the Kerry forward line. That's the second or third time the ball has been dropped into Alan Quirke's hand, and Cork are very, very good at building a counter-attack from their own goal mouth.
Michael Shields getting it as far as Derek Kavanagh. Controlled well here by Pádraig Reedy. Nice play. Tomás O'Shea again. Held on to here by Colin Cooper, the Gooch. Trying to steal a march there on Ger Spillane. thought about it getting it on the left, very much a two-footed player, and that has gone wide. Umpires had a little look at it. I think the man on the left, as I'm looking at it, looked across at the man on the right, and they decided between them it had gone wide. Let's have a look at it from another angle here.
Yeah, Cooper turned Jerspillane very well that time. Will be disappointed with his final effort, even though it's on his weaker right foot. He should have scored that one, and he knows it. But again, just going back to it, the Cork defence seems to have got to grips with the Kerry attack at the moment. Kerry attack has lost a lot of its shape, and again, Cork are in the ascendancy over the last 5 or 6 minutes of the game.
Well, the scoring chances that have been created so far are very interesting, because Kerry have been doing much, much better. They have created 15 scoring chances, taken 6 with their goal and 5 points. Cork have created just 8 scoring chances, 6 points for them. 1 minute of injury time now being played. Rain pouring down. It's collected here by Brian Sheehan. Forward for Tomás O'Shea. Remember the goal he got in the 2005 final against Tyrone? He'd love a point here. And he has got one. Good score by Tomás O'Shea. And a goal the margin once again. The goal after 17 minutes by Colm Cooper, separating these teams. But look at the amount of space that Tomás O'Shea was given. Nicholas Murphy trying to close him down, never quite got there.
He's such a natural footballer, again, so comfortable off either foot, and again was very perceptive that time in breaking forward, taking a good pass off Sheehan, and again firing an inspirational point. They needed that.
Just a few more seconds then remaining in this first half. Seamus Scanlon, what a good first half he's played. Again, an opportunity for Killian Young to hold, to take, feeding Brian Sheehan. Again, stealing inside here, good run, good upper body strength. Knew when to lay it off as well as far as Colm Cooper. This time the provider, Galvin, I think was his intended recipient. Never quite reached him because Galvin was looking one way, the ball was going the other. That's Conor McCarthy, challenged hard. Pierce O'Neill, yet to make a major impression on this game. Graham Canty, Michael Shields. Cork with just 6 points in the first half, only one of them coming from play. Here's another chance now to Donnacha O'Connor in stoppage time. Players calling for him to lay it off. He was taking his time about making his mind up, held on too long, and the referee in the end decides time up, end of the first half. And it is Kerry who are happier going in at the break. Colm Cooper's goal after 17 minutes, when that ball was punted in by Seamus Scanlon. There was a defender and the goalkeeper coming to challenge him, but Cooper got there first. James Masters got 3 points for Cork. They were all from frees. They have a lot of talking to do. There's a lot of improving to do as well if they are to take the Sam Maguire Cup home. At the moment, it's as the experts had predicted.
We're at half-time in the 2007 All-Ireland football final between Cork and Kerry. Kerry leading Cork by 1 goal and 6 points to 6 points. Colm O'Rourke and Joe Brolly here with me in the studio. Joe, strange kind of game of football in a way. Kerry seem to be dominating, and yet they seem to be happy to sit back and defend it.
Well, I think that Kerry, Pat O'Shea I can only imagine, Pat O'Shea must have decided that they were going to lose the midfield exchanges because Cork have been so excellent in that area all year long. So he decided to put together, have a very defensive game plan. I mean, for most of the match, Kerry have had 2 forwards in this half of the field and nothing more than that. And so, contrary to expectation, Kerry have won every ball around the middle of the field. Cork have won one.
Just looking at the stats there.
Cork have won 1 kick out. 1 kick out in the match. The other one was a short kick out. But aside from that, Kerry have obliterated them there.
And 37 frees in 36 minutes or 37
minutes. The
reason
that Kerry aren't putting their superiority in the scoreboard is because they've only got 2 forwards up and they should be pressing on and attacking. This game plan's all right if you're being beaten around the middle of the field. But when you're winning hands down, I mean, Declan O'Sullivan hasn't been seen because he's been in his defensive area. Nicholas Murphy hasn't touched the ball for Cork. He hasn't actually touched the ball. So, I mean, Kerry need to change their...
Well, there's no doubt the only place that it's a contest is on the scoreboard. Like, Kerry should be out of sight. Twice as many scoring chances. And they have managed to mess up a lot of the good play. Even the Gooch, has had, a couple of uncharacteristic wides when he made plenty of room for himself. But
however, the Gooch has been the difference between the two sides in that first half.
For the first I thought he had died and gone to heaven here with the way that he was playing early on. He flicks in the goal and he kicks over a point nonchalantly, and then,
And he meant it. It was a beautiful, beautiful flick.
Yeah, so the goalie now is in no man's land, gets caught, 7 or 8 yards out of goal. He should have left it to his back there. If a goalie comes, he has to win it. But Gooch, sensing everything about where he was, the presence of the goalie, the back, you know, it's not by chance that he scores goals continually like that.
And he's brave, you know, not a thought to his own personal safety, you know. And I mean, it was beautifully done. As Colin says, he clocks everything around him, you know, and he really is a thing of beauty. At one stage he kicked the wide, but you know, it was worth the admission price to watch that wide.
This is the point that he added onto it then.
Yeah, well,
like 4 points gap in the space of a couple of minutes with Gooch.
At the start, well then this should have been a goal as well, you know, and he was thinking of a goal, it's just put too high, but Cork had Kieran O'Connor on him, which was a very bad decision at the start. Subsequent to that,
and he's a strong wee devil too, Cooper. You know, he stayed on his feet in spite of the fact your man was trying to wrestle him to the ground.
They've put Canty now on Gooch and put Michael Shields on Donaghy. Both of them are winning practically anything, but as Joe was saying, Kerry are a little bit defensive. You know, when Cork get the
copying their northern
Cork,
cousins,
when they get the ball, then have nowhere to go with it because there's so many Kerry men behind the ball. But the Cork forward line wiped out 1 point from play.
Yeah, that 1 point from play was from Michael Cusson. One ball that ballooned into him and he caught it.
Well, you know, I mean, look, the blueprint for Cork is to move the ball to Cusson and edge the square, because first of all, he's got a huge height advantage, and secondly, Tom O'Sullivan's making the fatal error of trying to compete with him in the air, which means, well, just watch it. It's a classic example. O'Sullivan goes up with him. I mean, look. I mean, it's positively comical, and that happened in the Munster final. That's the first time that the ball's been kicked into him. I mean, James Masters might as well be sitting out on the subs bench in the match. You know, Cork are getting no change whatever. Donoghue O'Connor's trying, but there are just so many Kerry bodies back, it's impossible to play against. I mean, it looks like Tyrone 2 years ago. But the problem for Kerry is that they're not pushing on. I mean, that would be all very well if Cork were if it was tit for tat. But I mean, they're keeping Cork in the game by adopting the tactics.
Cousins' opposite number, Kieran Donaghy, hasn't got on the scoreboard, but he surely had a penalty claim.
Well, if the referee was being consistent, and you know, because there's a whole heap of easy frees out the field, if he was being consistent in giving frees, you know, he was being pulled back there by Shields. You know, it's very plain. When you know, you can see here now the jersey being pulled just as he's about. No, it's a blatant penalty, and the ref was giving them out the field and didn't give it in there. And Sheehan should have had a penalty earlier. The same thing, his jersey being pulled back. So, you know, it's hard to give a penalty. It's easy to give a free in the middle of the field.
We were just before that happened. We were just discussing it. You know, the referee's the sort of fella. He's given 7 soft frees that, in my view, weren't frees at all. But they were uncontroversial. You know, he just soft frees. But when it comes to one where you have to put your money where your mouth is, you know, I mean, I thought he just ducked out of that penalty award.
Okay, we have another commercial break coming up. More right after that on today's All-Ireland Football Final. A quick reminder to you about our later edition of the Sunday Game. Now, that programme will feature highlights and analysis of both of today's finals. We'll be visiting the Winners' Hotel from the senior final, naming our man of the match from the game, and also getting the panel to pick their football team of the year. 9:30 here on this channel. Well, now, earlier this afternoon at half-time in the All-Ireland Minor Football Final, a number of school children from around the country, including Cork and Kerry, were taking part in Cumann na mBunscol, no doubt enjoying the big day here at Croke Park and their appearance out there on the pitch. And indeed, speaking of young GAA players, a new DVD called the GAA Fun to Do Learning Resource Pack will provide coaches of all levels with the tools to enable young players from nursery age right up to the end of primary school level to learn the basic skills of hurling and football. For more information, just log on there to www.gaa.ie. Well, back now to the big match of the day. Marty Morrissey is down pitch side right now, and he's talking to 2 stars of Gaelic football, 2 players who, I'm sure, would love to be here playing for the county on such a big day.
I have no doubt about that, Michael. 82,126 people here in Croke Park this afternoon, and 2 of the stars of the 2007 championship, Damien Freeman, captain of Monaghan, and Eamon O'Hara of Sligo. Damien, what do you make of the first half?
It's at the minute it's a poor game, Marty. You know what I mean? Neither team is taking control of it. You know, Kerry has a lot of opportunities there for scores, but they're not just taking their chances there at the minute.
Donaghy and Gooch seem to be the major threat.
Yeah, they're getting a lot of possession in there. They're actually causing the Cork full back line a lot of problems. But the end products, as I say, you know, they're only 3 points ahead at the moment, and there should be a lot more.
Let me move on to Eamon O'Hara. You played midfield most of the time for Sligo. Cork seem to be in trouble there.
Yeah, they're struggling big time there. Dara O'Shea is completely controlling it on Nicholas Murphy and Derek Kavanagh. You know, Cork need to change it. They really do need to change it. Cousins is coming out, but they seem Kerry seem to be bringing out Sheehan to mark him. So it is very much a crowded area, but you know, Kerry are completely on top in that area.
Would you make that change, Eamon? Bring Michael Cusson out to midfield, crowd midfield?
I think so, you know what I mean? But you need to put a few more fellas inside and just drive the ball in. They need to get the ball into the forward line. If they don't, they're going to lose this, and Kerry are going to go home with All-Ireland.
Damien, you've played against Kerry and heartbreakingly lost in the quarter-final. Do you think they're going to go through and win this All-Ireland?
I think they are. I think, you know, the bench is very strong. You know, you have Sean O'Sullivan, Darren O'Sullivan, Mike Frank, Russell, who'd get on any team in the country. And I think that's going to be the telling factor in the end of the game. And I expect Kerry to go on and win up by 3 or 4 points.
Well, they're the views of Eamon O'Hara and Damien Freeman. Thank you very much, Les, for joining us. Let's go back to the studio. And Michael.
And indeed, I'm going to pick up with a panel on just some of those comments. The middle of the field, Cork not dominating Colmore the way they were hoping to do, because they're bunching the game up in the middle of the field.
Yeah,
Kerry.
well, Kerry are winning all the breaks. Seamus Scanlon has been very good for Kerry, and Aidan O'Mahony has been very powerful. Like, the Kerry fellas have great upper body strength.
There's pace.
And Tomás O'Shea and Killian Young, they've been coming through at pace, and they're able to burst through the tackles and then set up the attacks. But, you know, I think a proper score is 1-4 from play for Kerry, 1 point from Cork, which I think reflects just about the course of the game.
I was talking to a Kerry man earlier on today, and he was saying, you know, the Kerry couldn't do this year the kind of thing that they were doing last year. The simple game, Kieran Donaghy and pumping the ball in, either himself or Gooch would get it. That wasn't going to work for them. It's working.
Well, I mean, it works to an extent.
It's their ploy anyway.
But you know, the difficulty is that there's just too big a gap between the rest of the players and the two forwards, who are very, very isolated, and a lot of very hopeful stuff's being kicked in. I mean, Donaghy took that catch. It was an absolutely stupendous catch. I mean, Cooper's goal, well, the keeper should have stayed in his line. But if Kerry are going to leave them isolated like that, they're on 2 good players now. Canty and Shields are good players, and the ball's going to have to be right. I mean, I suspect now that Kerry are going to start pushing on a bit more, because as things stand, you know, it's a poor quality game of football, which Cork will be delighted with, because if it was good quality, they'd probably be about 10 points behind. And, you know, the longer the game goes on in that vein, the more of an opportunity Cork will have. I totally disagree with Eamon O'Hara about Cusson, because Cusson's the only outlet they have, and they need to keep him on the edge of the square, but they need to start kicking it to him, because there's absolutely nothing else that's working. And the only way to beat the blanket defence is to do what Armagh do, kick it over the top of it to the edge of the square.
And when Kerry have the characteristic of Kerry for all the championship has been a nearly second half blitz. They did it against Cork in the Munster final, and they did it against Dublin. You know, they come out and try and put a team away in the first 10 or 15 minutes of the second half. To do that, they need Donaghy now to position himself in front of the goals, because Shields is now on him, and let Gooch bring Canty, who would be the main defender, bring him away from in front of the goals.
Down the other side of the field, Daniel Goulding is coming on for James Masters in the Cork team. Hardly a surprise, I suppose.
Not a surprise. Like, the gamble of playing Masters, who's been out of action with a broken jaw, just absolutely, totally backfired. He tried to get a few scores early on, kicked balls up in the air. I thought Goulding should have been on from the start anyway.
Probably put too much pressure on James Masters, you know. I mean, it was a bad injury. You know, you look at, I mean, the Kerry backs are very pacey, very athletic, extremely ruthless. They all tackle very hard. As Colin says, they burst through, they hit hard with their shoulder. A very, very mean defence, and not the place for a fella who's coming in, been out for 7 weeks, no competitive game. And no matter how much you're going and well in the training and all of that, it's a different world.
Oh, absolutely different world. And the pace of the Kerry fellas coming out, just James Masters' strength is not his pace. You know, he gets easy points all right.
Would Cork chance Anthony Lynch at some stage, do you think?
Well,
attacking wing back sort of.
Yeah,
a broken hand.
He's an awful loss. I suppose a broken hand shouldn't keep you out of an All-Ireland final, really. You know, something as minor as that. But the boys say that he's had an operation, had a few pins. But you know, at this stage, you know, if it was,
I don't know if you're joking or not.
No, I'm absolutely not joking. You know, you only get a chance to play in an All-Ireland final once. You can have the pins put back in tomorrow.
Yeah. On the other hand, people like Paul Galvin here, they've played well, but Kerry have squandered a few chances as well. No, he took a fantastic point, I know, but they squandered a few chances as well.
But they haven't missed anything easy. You know, they're kicking from distance, and they're kicking under pressure because they're running the ball from deep. You know, Cork have an opportunity to get back into defence and get into position, and you know, it's very difficult to penetrate them.
Yeah.
You know, that's the big problem. I mean, the tactical formation's wrong for Kerry. They expected Cork to win some ball around the middle of the field.
They need Declan O'Sullivan to get more forward to support Gooch and Donaghy.
Well, that's the view of the panel here of Joe and Colin up in the studio. As you can see, teams back out on the pitch. Let's take you back to the big match commentary now. Ger Canning and Martin Carney.
And there is Daniel Goulding, who has just come back into the championship team, his 6th appearance into his first All-Ireland senior final just before the start of the second half. Hello to Mary Newman, who's a patient in the CUH in Cork. Get well soon. And to honeymooners, Niall Hegarty and his new wife Vivian in New York watching. There's a final to be won here. Start of the second half, 3 points the margin, and straight away it's Seamus Scanlon, and he's done so often in this game, winning possession. Tomás O'Shea down towards Donoghue, who lets it spill. Michael Shields, big task for him, keeping tabs on Donoghue. Donoghue hasn't scored so far. His scoring record isn't great in this year's championship anyway, but he does create havoc, and he's creating havoc here, and he's got an open goal. Oh, what a gift that is! He burgled the ball and put it into the back of the Cork net in the first minute of the second half. And Kerry lead by 2 clear goals. What happened here? It was stolen and put in the back of the net. Spillane, the one who lost possession, had his hands picked this time, his pockets picked, and Donoghue let fly, couldn't miss from there. And Kerry lead by 2-6 to 6 points.
That's absolutely criminal from a Cork point of view. Overpassing the ball across your own goals. Canty put Spillane under enormous pressure. To be fair to Donoghue, Donoghue came in, robbed him, and had an easy chance to put it into an empty net.
That's the 3rd goal that Donoghue has scored in the championship. And immediately it's the Gooch setting off once again, held in possession. And Graham Canty once again getting himself into a little bit of trouble. A ticking here, but that is a disastrous start for the second half for Cork.
And you know, a little bit like the semi-final against Dublin, they scored a goal with their first attack against Dublin in the All-Ireland semi-final. Again against Cork in the Munster final, they scored 1-5 without reply in the first 15 minutes of the second half. But that was absolutely ridiculous defensive play. They were in control, played the ball across. Cork went out to try and actually take the pass from Spillane. And what a mess up.
And Brian Sheehan turns it around into a 4-point early second half advantage for Kerry. His 2nd pointed free. 2-7 all of a sudden for Kerry, 6 points for Cork. And you know, when you think about that steal again by Donoghue, you wonder, because of his basketball skills, how well and how easily he was able to dispossess Spillane.
That's true, and again, probably the basketball skills coming to the fore there. But again, this is asking an awful lot of Cork now. I thought they were actually quite well in it in the first half. I disagree with the panel actually in many respects, but this is now a mountain for them to climb.
And again, it is Tomás O'Shea. Killian Young. Kerry lording it. Again, it is Paul Galvin getting there ahead of John Miskela. Into space. This time sealed off by Noel O'Leary. Derek Kavanagh. Again, it is Conor McCarthy. Well, what can they do about the 7 points they trail at this stage? Nothing with that particular kick by McMahon. Was a very poor one. Comes back out as far as Seamus Scanlon. Tomás O'Shea now. O'Mahony. Kerry players and Kerry fans were saying this was a final they daren't lose. Donoghue once again. That one won't curl sufficiently for him. Wide of the target. Kick-out's taken very, very quickly. John Miskela. Oh, then losing his concentration, stealing away. Possession will Seamus Scanlon, the Gooch picking it up. Cooper to turn inside. Inside and out he goes against Michael Shield. Scanlon stayed forward, and that's over the bar. Well, they say he doesn't score an awful lot, Seamus Scanlon, but on a day when everything is going right for Kerry at this stage of the match, he took the pass from the Gooch, got it onto the right boot, looked very confident there. Just his 3rd ever point in championship football.
Yeah, good score by Scanlon. Missed a lot in the semi-final against Dublin, but certainly Kerry must think Christmas has come early, actually, 3 months early, because that again has been a gift of a second half start from Cork to Kerry. Couldn't have been worse from a Cork point of view, just fabulous from a Kerry point of view.
Second time for Pat O'Shea to take a team to the All-Ireland final this year. Remember, he was here in the club final back on St Patrick's Day. It ended level on that occasion. Here's Michael Cusson. Well, he has come out around midfield at this stage just to get the ball, and they lose it. That was stolen by Owen Brosnan. He's got it back again thanks to Declan O'Sullivan. Now Colm Cooper, O'Sullivan next to him. Pass not the best, however. Held out there by Conor McCarthy. Back in towards O'Sullivan again. Kerry threatening to run riot. Comes down off the post and over the bar. And Kerry fans everywhere are absolutely delighted with the way things have panned out here. Declan O'Sullivan, the captain, first kick at the target, first point as well. Cork haven't managed to get going in the second half. 5 minutes are gone, and that's a lovely point by O'Sullivan.
Yeah, we've often talked about blitzkrieg in the context of history, but certainly this has been a Kerry blitzkrieg at the start of the second half.
There are going to be 2 changes made by Cork. Anthony Lynch is going to come on, and coming on as well is Fintan Gould.
Number 7, John.
There's Fintan Gould, one of the stars of the under-21 campaign earlier in the year. Anthony Lynch comes on for John Miskala. And Kevin McMahon is the other player who's going off. Fintan Gould has come on for him. So disappointment for McMahon. Had such a good semi-final, but it hasn't gone well for Cork. Alan Quirk's kick to the centre of the park. Again, it's fielded spectacularly by Dara O'Shea. Loses his way somewhat, but still gets enough purchase on it. And then there's a foul. Fintan Gould thinking about taking it himself. Attention may be required by Dara O'Shea. And immediately the physio comes out. Megan Goulding there, along with Dr. Dave Gainey, who's also one of the selectors. I remember he had a lot of injury problems in the last couple of matches, but he had a very good first half.
I think he was just glad of a little bit of a breather that time after taking a belt, and again it's taken a little bit of a sting out of whatever comeback Cork might have had.
Well, whatever game plan Cork had coming into this final, they've had to change it around fairly dramatically. They still have time if they're good enough. They've a lot to do, a long way to go. Conor McCarthy overhitting the pass towards Anthony Lynch. Galvin nipping in instead. And away come Kerry once again with Brian Sheehan. One forward to aim at down there. That's the gooch. Colm Cooper in against Graham Canty. Exploiting the space. And off the post. And that's the second one that's gone off the post for Kerry. And it's Colm Cooper now with a goal and 3. Terrific shooting.
Absolutely devastating counter-attack that time. Again, a beautiful use of possession by the Kerry attack over the far wing. And again, Cooper that time had done him completely on his own had he spotted him, but had the confidence to shoot over a delightful point for a very awkward angle, just clipping off the inside of the post, as we can see there.
8 minutes are gone in the second half. Kerry so far have got 1 goal and 4 points. Cork haven't even got a shot at the goal.
And actually Brian Sheehan is playing out as a third midfielder at the moment, which is making it more difficult again for Cork to find space out there.
Killian Young feeding it forward for Paul Galvin. Ahead by Scanlon this time to the raiding Tomas O'Shea. He's got 1 so far. Going after him is Pierce O'Neill. Kicking it in. It's a very ambitious one. It's to the right. And he's missed his opportunity. But at least it keeps the ball down that end of the field. He'd love to have scored another point while Kerry are in the ascendancy, but they're doing so well in this final.
Yeah, and Cork are devoid of ideas at the moment. They have been shell-shocked by that start that Kerry have got at the beginning of the second half. No player is able to get on possession at the moment and make use of it. Again, there's an absence of leadership out there.
Well, as he consults with Ger O'Sullivan, Billy Morgan's just considering, 2 defensive mistakes, 2 goals conceded. And Pat O'Shea can scarcely believe the second one in particular was such a Christmas gift coming in the month of September. Here's Nicholas Murphy. Hasn't dominated as he was expected to do. But then you could say that about quite a few of the colleagues as well. Reedy, second time of asking, going, taking it, pursued by several Corkmen. Fintan Gould's after him. The referee has blown his whistle, and he's signalling a free into Cork. And Fintan Gould and his colleague will take anything that is going. Pádraig Reedy was ticked already, so the referee is going to call back the number 4. And this is probably going to be the first yellow card of the match, coming in the 45th minute.
Yeah, I thought he might have been actually given the free in a couple of moments earlier than that. He thought he fouled the ball as he came in high in the first place.
It'll be Donegal O'Connor who will take it. Kerry are winning this match by 10 points, and fans will think back of the other semi-finals. This is a final, but the semi-finals were Kerry also dominated by big, wide margins. Now the margin is down to 9. Donegal O'Connor with the first shot of the second half for Cork in this game, and a point for him, a third. They're all coming from frees. And that's the head-to-head there, as you can see. Colm Cooper doing better, goal and 3.
Well, certainly if Cork are to get back into this, they need to get a grip around the middle of the field, need to get direct ball into Cousins, and again the two corner forwards, Daniel Goulding and Donegal O'Connor, need to come in, but goals are going to be vital for them and get them very quickly.
Well, that point by Donegal O'Connor was the first in 15 minutes of play that Cork have managed to score. Noel O'Leary tigerishly taking it, but again the pressure from Kerry, the composed play of Brian Sheehan, class in key areas, lots of endeavour for Cork. Here's O'Connor, fouled as he was taking it out, but class is counting in this final so far, even though Kerry did get a couple of fortunate breaks. But you make your own luck, I suppose, in this level of football as well. Kevin O'Sullivan is going to be coming on very shortly for Conor McCarthy, and that is the 4th substitution that Billy Morgan has been forced to make.
Yeah, again, Conor McCarthy didn't make any impact on the game today. Again, he was a surprise inclusion maybe in the first place. And again, as you've repeatedly said in the commentary today, Ger, it's bad enough playing Kerry and, you know, trying to compete to them on an even footing. But again, when you gift them scores like they did, I mean, it's just ridiculous. Again, Donaghy that time took a belt in the face, accidental it must be said, from Michael Shields, and it could have resulted maybe in a bit of a broken nose or something, but it seems to be okay.
Cork get it back. Ger Spillane under pressure, kicking, pressure from Owen Brosnan, free from where the ball lands. The referee decides, and it's 45 metres now from the Kerry goal.
Yeah, one of the trends with Kerry actually in recent games, both against Dublin and against Cork in the Munster final, is that they had this very good opening to the second half, but they actually allowed their opponents to come back at them, and again maybe at the very end pushed away from them. But it'll be interesting to see now, will they allow Cork come on to them, and if they do, will they be able to push on at the end, or can actually Cork make use of their period of ascendancy?
This is Daniel Goulding, who's taken over as the free taker from James Masters, who is clearly a bit rusty. Catches it but can't direct it as he wanted to, wide of the mark. So just 1 point in the second half for Cork so far, and we're now 12.5 minutes into the second half, and they are disappointed, mind you. Man on the left still has a smile for his Kerry friend there, a couple of Kerry friends I'm sure. They all mingle so well. The players will tell you about the sense of anger that they feel when they're playing one another, the intensity of it all. Well, the fans just have a great big party. Man having a party right now is Darragh O'Shea. Outside to his younger brother Mark. Pursued by Donegal O'Connor. On by Galvin. On as far as Owen Brosnan. Hasn't scored so far in this final. Trying to put that right. Here's another chance. And another one for Donaghy. Kerry can do no wrong. Cork's full back line all over the place. Another wretched piece of defending. Kieran Donaghy adds to the goal. He got at the start of the half. 13 minutes after the first, the two backs, goalkeeper and defender, can't get the ball away. Michael Shields and Alan Quirk get in a tangle, a right mess, and Donaghy says, thanks a million, lads. It's 3-10 to 7 points for Cork. Kerry looking wonderful, Cork looking wretched.
Oh yeah, and I thought in that case Owen Brosnan was going for a point. I thought he undercooked it somewhat, but again, Donaghy, even though there may have been a talk about a square ball in that, he certainly accepted the gift.
Cusson this time, stopped by Darragh O'Shea. Cork fans very, very disappointed with this, watching Killian Young right now, making progress. Kerry are looking ruthless, determined, playing as champions must, refusing. After all the years of supremacy in the Munster Championship, victory after victory over the years against Cork, refused to lose this final to the great rivals. Donaghy touches it down again, and the gooch this time, and the referee says foul committed. Free out to Cork.
couldn't see what the foul was.
Well, maybe the Gooch was backing in, and maybe the referee just felt very, very charitable.
Well, I think he's been charitable to them all right. Maybe it was for that late tackle on Goulding by Donaghy that he called, but certainly didn't seem to me to be a foul there.
Fintan Gould. Michael Shields. Canty calling for it. This is quite a beating that Cork are getting right now from Kerry. 12 points behind.
Well, you remember 2 years ago, Jervis, something was it 119 to 9 points when Kerry absolutely ran away from them.
That's back from Cusson as far as Fintan Gould. Players calling for it. Pierce O'Neill. Difficult to define his role in this team. Here he is again, raiding. Lobbed across towards Donegal O'Connor. 2 against 1. Should favour the Kerry men. It does. Galvin's there inevitably. Thank you very much indeed. Away to the free running Declan O'Sullivan. There's nobody near him. Taking on Spillane now. Here's Brosnan. Strong, resolute and determined. And before the block can come, he fires this one in. Will it go off the post again? Not this time. But they're leading by 3-10 to 7 points. And there are 51 minutes gone. 9 wides for Kerry.
Yeah, and certainly Kerry are quite content to get everybody back behind the ball. Just that effort by Brosnan again drifted well wide, but their defensive setup is excellent. They're just leaving the 2 guys up, Donaghy and Colm Cooper inside. They're playing very well off one another, and again Declan O'Sullivan and Brosnan are getting much more into the game in the second half. Pat
O'Shea's team are, after creating 26 scoring chances in the match so far against just 10 for Cork, they are destroying their rivals from Cork. Here comes Michael Shields. Last year it was Mayo's turn to really feel the wrath of Kerry, winning by a wide margin in the end. Nothing that Cusson could do about that. Slipped on the greasy surface. Yeah. Well, those 3 goals are so vitally important in this game when you think about it. The first, that mistake at the back, the horrible start to the second half when Spillane was robbed by Kieran Donaghy, and that awful mistake between fullback and goalkeeper, which allowed Donaghy in for the third.
And it's very much a lonely and an unforgiving place for Cork at the moment. Again, there doesn't seem to be any prospect of a comeback. They just play for pride now and nothing else.
Touch of the damage limitation. And again, Kerry refused to give them an inch. Showing good competitive spirit, Mark O'Shea. In towards Michael Cusson this time. In beyond him. Gould's coming. Oh, that's in the corner. And that is by Daniel Goulding. Cork get 1 back. Well, the fans are happy with that one. They still feel there's a chance. They look at the scoreboard, see 9 between them. It was Goulding who came in here and into the corner. Player who was so lethal at the Under-21 Championship, held on and held on, got away with it and into the corner. 52 minutes of the game gone, 18 of the second half.
Well, fair play to him. Again, that ball came across, I think it was meant for Michael Cousins. Cousins let it go beyond him. And again, Daniel Goulding showed great anticipation that time. Cut across in front of Pádraig Reedy and shot it very well to the net. But they need 1 or 2 more of those in quick succession.
Some Cork fans were leaving. I think some of them decided to stay. Here's Anthony Lynch. Galvin getting in a tangle with him. Then the frustration spilling over. And that's unnecessary. We're seeing the man bags rather than the handbags once again in a Gaelic football match. Totally unnecessary, wasted time.
Yeah, it's unnecessary. And again, Darragh Shea's coming in here now with Derek Cavan. Again, it's so unnecessary. Kerry are in control of that. They should be drawing away their players, not getting involved in that. They're in control of the match. And again, it's ridiculous what's happening.
Just show us what you can do as footballers. Forget the boxing. That's for another arena. Here we go again.
Yeah,
Galvin was in here fouling Anthony Lynch.
Yeah, definitely fouled Anthony Lynch. And again, I think Donegal O'Connor took exception to it and came in. And again, there's a little bit of guys pulling at each other.
Well, there you go. It was when Anthony Lynch caught Galvin on the neck that time, I think, that the others came in from Kerry and took grave exception. So referee David Coldrick calling aside Paul Galvin. He was ticked already, so this will be a yellow card, following Pádraig Reedy into the referee's notebook.
Yeah, but again, it's a case of give a dog a bad name. I don't think Paul Galvin was any more guilty of sinning that time than a number of other players. Okay, he committed the foul that time on Anthony Lynch.
Sometimes you wonder, the reputations go ahead of players. You know,
reputations precede them. There's no doubt about that.
I mean, Noel O'Leary committed this match, and people were saying, you know, we'll be lucky to stay the full 70 minutes. He hasn't done anything wrong. He's had a very, very quiet game.
Yeah, again, I thought it was disgraceful. I saw one bookmaker actually had him at 8-1 to be the first person to get a yellow card.
Well, I think Galvin got the yellow card for the pulling down. And now Derek Kavanagh. He's going to get one as well. There you go.
Well, I think the net effect of that is to actually take whatever sting was in the Cork comeback out of them. And again, I think it probably suited Kerry.
The referee going in to call Darragh O'Shea over to him. 2 yellow cards already for Kerry players. He's already been ticked also. Kerry leading in the match by 9 points, and in yellow cards by 2 cards to 1. Or hang on, it's 2 cards apiece. Derek Kavanagh just after getting one as well, of course. Now we can change that. Kerry lead again. Darragh O'Shea, 3-2. This is the punch. Darragh O'Shea and Derek Kavanagh.
Well, there's a little bit more pushing than punching, in fairness. Like Darragh O'Shea catches him by the neck. It's a provocative gesture, certainly, and that time a little bit more than that.
Anyway, back with the action. In fact, in cards, it's 3-1. The only Cork card has been Derek Kavanagh. Killian Young on his way out fouled.
Kerry substitution, number 10, Paul Galvin.
And Kerry are going to make a change now, and it's going to be Sean O'Sullivan who will come on. Paul Galvin going off. He'll get a big cheer. Listen to the Kerry fans. Sean O'Sullivan coming into the action. Playing in the championship now for the 26th time, and Paul Galvin makes his way off.
Yeah, I think he feels hard done by. Actually, he gives certainly Pat O'Shea some eye there as he came off, as much as say, why the hell did you take me off? And just the thing is starting to heat up.
Well, Pat O'Shea's job is to win the championship, not to get a player sent off.
Well, yeah, I can understand.
Not taking any chances.
Yeah, I think he did the right thing in taking off. He's just afraid he would kind of just explode maybe and bring Kerry down to 14 men. And
absolutely.
Don't need that.
Kerry just playing keep ball. Tomas O'Shea letting fly, and he's missed to the right. 3-10, 1-7. Pat O'Shea with just a bit longer now to go. We're in the 58th minute.
Yeah, but there's a way more fluency to the Kerry team than there is to the Cork team. Again, much more economical up front, and again, you just cannot see Cork getting back into it unless, again, they get another goal very quickly.
Well, they've only created 3 chances in the second half so far, Martin, and one of those was that Daniel Goulding goal.
Yeah, but Cousins again is in on the edge of the square, and the ball isn't getting into him.
Here comes Donnacha O'Connor, having a go himself, and he finds the range perfectly. His 4th point of the match. First 3 coming from frees. So now it's an 8-point game.
Well, let's say of all the lads out there in the Cork team, Donnacha O'Connor, who's from the border actually with Kerry, will be, show maybe a little bit more defiance than others. That was a fine score from his left foot.
Well, he's had 4 shots at the target, 4 points for the afternoon so far. But you're looking at about 12 minutes from the end of the All-Ireland final. Cork with it all to do. Noel O'Leary. Here's Kieran O'Connor. Fintan Gould. One of the young players for the future. That's for certain. Not with that pass, however. Intercepted easily. And away once again come Kerry and Colin Cooper. Michael Shields dragging him back, pulling his jersey, free in, not a doubt about it. And Michael Shields was ticked already, and this time I think he is going to get a yellow card, and it's going to be Cork's 2nd.
Yeah, what was interesting actually about that attack, that the only person coming up in support of Cooper at that time was the sub Sean O'Sullivan. Kerry are quite content to absorb whatever punishment or whatever attacks Cork have, draw everybody back behind the ball and break out on the counter attack and try and score points.
So Shields Second recipient of a yellow card for the men in red. Free conceded, however, to Kerry, who are leading very comfortably. And you can't afford to give them gifts and make mistakes like Cork have done in this final. Cooper a goal and 3 so far. And has it got the legs? It has. Good kick. Terrific competitor, Colin Cooper. Real crowd pleaser. And the margin stretches again to 9 points. And Kerry are looking towards title number 35. And the head-to-head once again is interesting. Scoring chances 4 from 4 for Donnacha O'Connor, 5 from 7 for Cooper, and he's got a goal and 4.
Yeah, one of the significant things about Cork today actually is, you know, coming into the game, Nicholas Murphy came in with a great reputation. He played very well. He's been really anonymous today, which is a big disappointment.
Here comes Fintan Gould. Derek Kavanagh. Inside towards Michael Cusson. Thomas Sullivan got a vital touch, and then the others came in to help. Aidan O'Mahony. Even if the match were to start all over again and it were 3:30, Martin, you'd wonder where would Cork make the necessary improvements to keep pace with this Kerry team the way they're playing right now. That's all the way in towards Donaghy, and there's Michael Shields held. And the referee doesn't allow the quick free to be taken, which is penalising Cork doubly in a way, because there's a little bit of work to do. Donaghy is going to get a card. Didn't get a ticking already.
Well, it's incredible. In the first half, he ticked so many players, didn't book one, and now all of a sudden in the second half, he's handing out yellow cards like confetti.
Hard to understand. Here's Shields. About 8.5 minutes of the game remaining. Donnacha O'Connor way back in his own half-back line, trying to provide the fodder. And again, the referee has blown his whistle. Cork want to take the free quickly. Inside towards Nicholas Murphy, who's moved into the full forward position. They need a goal or two. Daniel Goulding's got a goal already, this time with the right boot, and he plants it over the bar. Good return from a man who came on at half-time. Goal and a point. Good scoring by Daniel Goulding. And there's going to be another change now, and Darren O'Sullivan is going to come on for Kerry in place of Owen Brosnan. And when you have players like this, like Sean O'Sullivan, like Darren O'Sullivan, like Mike Frank Russell, who hasn't played it all so far but is down there warming up, and you never know, he might come on. And there he is. What a bench that is to have. So many resources available to you. It's like an assembly line.
Very much so. And an O'Sullivan half-forward line now for Kerry, Sean, Declan and Darren, and you can expect Darren and Sean certainly to put an awful effort in to make some kind of an impact on this.
Here's Noel O'Leary. They'll be bitterly disappointed with the way this game has developed. Nicholas Murphy held in possession, the 29-year-old from Carrigaline, first player from that club to play senior championship football. It's a huge one in towards Goulding again. Couldn't get anything on that one. It's easy for Dermot Murphy. Outside towards Sean O'Sullivan. Seamus Scanlon. Now Darragh O'Shea. Switching the direction of the play. Aidan O'Mahony. Gooch still full of running. Able to hold it. Canty frustrated. O'Shea. That's Darragh O'Shea. Gooch once again. 6.5 minutes left. Inside towards Donaghy. Came off his knee that time under pressure from Michael Shields. And that'll be a kick out for Cork.
Yeah, that's untypical of Donaghy today. Like, he's had a very good game in particular. You know, after the first 15 minutes where he was slow to settle into the rhythm of the game, he's had a great second half, and of course the 2 goals were critical to the way Kerry have played.
Was it as simple as that, Martin, when we do the final analysis of this game? Did the goals more or less determine who was going to win the match?
I think so. Again, it was 166 points, 3 points in it at half-time. It was there for Cork, but again, the start of the second half, it has been similar to what Kerry have done in many games this year. They scored 1-4 without reply. They simply just put that cushion between themselves and Cork haven't been able to respond.
And the Gooch comes again. Back onto the left, which he prefers. And he's got enough on it this time as well. Goal and 5. Another man of the match type performance from Colin Cooper. And just listen to the Kerry crowd. And even the Cork fans, I suspect here, though they'll be bitterly disappointed, they recognise a genius at work here. And that is a terrific score.
Well, that is absolutely beautiful. Again, so assured when he gets the ball. Again, wanted to come back onto his left foot that time that he favours. But again, it's just his mixture of vision and accuracy has been delightful all day.
Tommy Griffin is in place of Killian Young, in to share the last 5 minutes of the 118th All-Ireland football final, which has been a disappointment from the point of view of a contest. It was poor in the first half, and with the gift goals in the second for Kerry, Cork struggled. And even at that, Aidan O'Mahony with a wonderful steal. And look at the support, 4 players in a line there, like at the Rugby World Cup, coming forward again here with purpose and determination and a game plan. O'Mahony, 1 point in the first half, support again available. This is Declan O'Sullivan. They might be winning this and winning it handily, but Sean O'Sullivan wants a point on the board, and the record books will show that he scored in the All-Ireland final. Man from Cromarn raises the flags once again. This was the move, inventive and a lovely finish. Lovely action by O'Sullivan, and Mike Frank Russell is in. Disappointed not to have started, but here he is coming in to share in the glory and play for Kerry for the 56th time. That is some achievement.
It's a wonderful achievement, and again we should actually salute Kerry also, because this to me has been the best Kerry team I've seen since the great one of the 70s. Again, they've been in so many All-Ireland finals, lost so many, came back, won so many, and again you just have to hand it to their players, the quality of the football that they can actually generate when they're playing well, but the sheer professionalism and the competitiveness of them and the skills that they have, it's just a magnificent thing to look at.
Darragh O'Shea in there having difficulty getting possession in the end. The referee blows against Nicholas Murphy, and Darragh and Nicholas Murphy exchanging elbows. Still going on. When they're old and grey, I'm sure they'll reminisce on the day they had in 2007 in the final. It's a long way to go. Here comes Colin Cooper. Again, he's just getting possession, lazily leaving it off for Mike Frank Russell. And that was the shot of a man who was not quite in tune with the pace of the game so far. Alan Quirk. Spillane again. Second year in a row that Kerry have come to an All-Ireland final. Second year in a row that they have beaten the opposition out of sight by a wide margin. They're ahead by 10 at this late stage in the game.
Yeah, but you have to credit their consistency again, Ger. Again, I saw them in most of the games this year, from the game against Waterford down in Dungarvan to the lucky escape that they had maybe against Monaghan, again the wonderful Munster final they had, but they have been improving in every game, and you know there's so much at home here, and again I think the fact they've had so much experience of playing here, that has been one of the factors that has stood to them. Only serious blot really has been that goal for Daniel Goulding after 52 minutes. Again it is Mike Frank Russell. He fancies his chance, but not going to be rewarded this time. And there were a number of other players waiting, like Darren O'Sullivan waiting inside. So we're inside the last 2 minutes now. Kerry took the lead after 13 minutes against Billy Morgan's team, and Billy will have to wait another 12 months at least. To be honest with you, I don't think this performance reflects the quality in the Cork team today. I think they're a much better team than they actually look. Again, the lad taking the kick out here, Alan Kirk, will look back at this game with horror, because I think, to be fair, it was his mistakes, you know, half into the first half and the beginning of the second half that actually gave Kerry that gap that they have maintained since. In truth, Cork have made incremental progress under Morgan this time around since he came back in 2004, winning a Munster title, reaching a couple of All-Ireland semis, and now an All-Ireland final, as Aidan O'Mahony is down and requires the attention. Yeah, I didn't see what happened that time now, to be honest about it. Well, he's about 40 yards out from the Cork goal. Seamus Scanlon has a yellow card thrust in his face by match referee David Coldrick from Meath. And this is what happened here, as Anthony Lynch was going forward as if that head and arm isn't bad enough. Yep.
knocked to the head there.
Yeah, like, to be fair to Scanlon, he tried to go shoulder to shoulder, mistimed the tackle, and as a result picked up a yellow card. But again, the yellow card is for a trivial enough offence.
Well, he's okay. And as if you wanted confirmation of why that big scoreline up in the top left-hand corner has been realised by Kerry. Well, they created 32 scoring chances, Cork 13, and there's a fracas on the right-hand side of the screen, as you can see. All a bit ugly.
It's unnecessary.
All too late at this stage.
Very much so. Like, I mean, time is up. This is ridiculous.
Last man up there was Darren O'Sullivan. Well, let's see, Darren O'Sullivan flung around by Kieran O'Connor. Kind of a mini version of sumo wrestling. Need to put on a bit of weight, lads, before you're ready for the big stuff. And Mossy Lyons is going to come in as the referee is taking care of the paperwork. So Kieran O'Connor is going to get a card. And there's also going to be one there for Darren O'Sullivan. The referee's so busy with the paperwork. The big cheer in the background was for Mossy Lyons coming in. 3:13 to 1-9. We're in injury time.
There's no doubt about it. Kerry possessed that degree of ruthlessness again, Ger. When they see kind of an opportunity to put a team to the sword, they do it in style.
And when they see a red jersey, they make absolutely doubly sure that they do it.
Well, I think we were speaking in private beforehand. I said to you that I feel it nearly is unthinkable for a Kerry man to lose to Cork in an All-Ireland final and go back to the Kerry and live in peace after it, you know. Just the motivation for them, the motivation for both sides would have been great, but for Kerry lads, you know, imagine going back to West Kerry if they'd lost to Cork in an All-Ireland final.
Never forgiven. Mossy Lyons on then. 14th time to play in the championship. A big occasion for him. So all the subs have been used, I think, at this stage, certainly by Kerry. And the game is almost up for Cork, and it's only a matter of time before Kerry and their fans will celebrate. And again, it's the reigning Darren O'Sullivan. Got a cracking goal last year in the championship, down at that goal against Armagh. And yet another free kick awarded in a game which has been littered by stoppages and free kicks. 59 free kicks in all, I am told, by our statsman Tim McCarthy. Aidan O'Mahony. And Tommy Griffin says, let's have a go. Not into the record books with that particular one, Tommy.
Yeah, but speaking of record books again, just think Darrell O'Shea's winning his 5th All-Ireland today, which will give him respectability in Kerry.
Oh dear, when you think about his uncle and all the others with all their 8 medals, 5 is a fantastic tally.
That's right, and look at Tomás O'Shea out there again, playing today like he's 29 years of age now or something, but again, playing with the enthusiasm of a 20-year-old.
Michael Cosson touching it down. One great point earlier on, and that is a shot which is blazed wide there by Kevin O'Sullivan. Wouldn't have mattered, he knows it at this stage anyway. He was trying his best, but it's still 3:13 to 1-9, and his team poised to lift Sam. They're ahead by 10, and we're in the 3rd minute of injury time in a disappointing 2007 All-Ireland football final, which has sounded like a Munster final, but a Munster final in Dublin. Disappointment for Billy Morgan, who shows great loyalty to his team. He's one of the greatest coaches I've ever come across in Gaelic football. Terrific manager. We wait for the whistle now from David Coldrick. Kerry retain Sam Maguire. Deservedly they win the All-Ireland Championship. The winners in 2007, Gooch and company. Gooch with a goal and 5 points. Kieran Donaghy, who got 2 second-half goals. A match he will remember for a long, long time. The fans come in to celebrate with their team, with their heroes. And at the end of it all, they are the champions, and they win the title for the 35th time. Another disappointing afternoon in a final for Cork. Beaten in the last few finals now that they've competed in. Lost in 99, lost in 93, and they've lost in 2007. It's Kerry the champions by 3:13 to 1-9 for Cork. The manager must be happy. Let's go down to Marty.
I'm sure he is. Thank you very much, Chair. Congratulations, Pat. Wonderful performance by your team.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's been a lot of said, there's been a lot of things said about this team and a lot of things written, and you know, I mean, they've been the first team to go back to back. You know, they've been in the last 4 All-Irelands. They've won 3 of them. think they're a great team. You know, they're showing a lot of freshness and hunger. Cork are a great team. We knew that coming up. You know, they're our dearest rivals below. We have the ultimate respect for them. But, you know, today was all there.
Goals win championships, and Gooch's goal was obviously very important. It set you on your way. But Starr's goal right after half-time, well, that was crucial, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. You know, and again, I haven't seen it. It happened so quickly. It dispossessed, obviously, and you know, the goal was probably a little bit free. But I mean, look, it was a great team effort. That's what the Kerry team is all about. I'm sure that there's a lot of Kerry people happy all over the world today watching it. I mean, we wanted to play for our county. We're very proud. We're very proud of where we come from, and we'd like to show that in the football field.
Well, you certainly showed it today, but let me just, from a personal point of view, Pat, I mean, you took over the team from last year. There must have been a little bit of pressure down in the kingdom for you to deliver the goods.
Yeah, there was, but it was something that I always wanted to do, so I didn't feel it was pressure. I said that from day one. I enjoy what I do. My family are important to me. It's great that they're here, and you know, we'll enjoy the celebrations tonight.
And all the O'Shea's happy and pleased with Kerry. Well done, Pat. Thank you for doing the interview. Back to Jar.
That was a tremendous performance by Kerry and by Pat O'Shea. And you know, when I think about it, Martin, you look at another sport, hurling, and you think about John Allen coming along a few years ago there, taking over from Donal O'Grady. They had won an All-Ireland, and to take on a team that's won an All-Ireland, you can't do any better than the man who's won it before. So full credit to Pat O'Shea. Terrific performance by him.
Very much so. A very quiet, unassuming man. A man obviously who knows his football inside out, who's been a massive inspiration to Colm Cooper, who we're looking at the moment. But the level of teamwork, the aggression, the strength of the team, the skill that they have, the intensity that they can apply to a game, and the variation in the way they can play the game during the course of it, and change the way they play during the course of it. All of those factors and all of those little variables combine to make a massive team. And again, as I said in commentary, Jared, to me they're one of the best teams that I've seen in Gaelic football. And Paul Caffrey there will probably be looking at them and saying, you know, it was their Forest in the semi-final were it not for a bad mistake late on in that match.
The last team to win 2 All-Irelands back-to-back was Cork. It's now Kerry, 2006, 2007. Donaghy delighted. Gooch Cooper had 8 chances, and he made 6 scores, a goal and 5. Brilliant. Now it's presentation time.
It's presentation time indeed. And again, Colm Cooper again has been one of the greatest players we have seen.
Galera are falling down atá fécinn there an cléthe freisin. But while go Gardagus an Daird na socht an cléthe dimmer siad iniu, agus an réitor David Coldrick agus an DNA Carr leis. Cabron done a Fern Corky, the Anna Blean ag the Fern agus Cabron got Billy Morgan agus the Fornia, Big Shiver Ashley lend out, he played Chapoin. Agus Gardagus the Winter Kerry agus the Fern Kerry agus Pat O'Shea. Shane to show the coming goal to Australia. Shane Law Derrinock, a big Liam Mulvey Maheel and Shaw, Marart Shurahor. Today's Liam Mulvey's last day as Art Shurahor on All-Ireland final day, and I want on behalf of the association to thank him for his stewardship of almost 30 years of our association.
That's a very well-deserved tribute by Nicky Brennan for Liam Mulvihill, who has been the architect of the modern GAA.
The cup is presented. I know it is traditional for the President to present the cup, but on this special day for the Art Shurahor and his last All-Ireland final and 30-year service, Liam, I want you to present the cup to the Kerry captain, Declan O'Sullivan.
Liam Mulvihill is going to present Sam Maguire. A lovely touch. Very rarely do Kerry captains get to receive it 2 years running. Declan O'Sullivan is such a captain. 2 in a row for Kerry. They're champions once again. And boy, will they celebrate.
That's the first shot, Kerry. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an absolute fantastic honor for me to stand here and accept this Sammy White Trophy on behalf of this absolutely fantastic bunch of individuals. Fellas, who've given their whole lives for Kerry football, fellas whose character has been questioned, fellas talking about them left, right and centre, disrespecting them. But it's the way Kerry people answer back. This is what it's about. 50,000 Kerry people in the All-Ireland final day with Samoa. There's an awful lot of people behind the scenes that have made this possible. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Kerry Group, who've been fantastic sponsors down through the years, and they've never left the short of anything. I'd like to thank the Kerry County Board, and it's Sean Walsh in particular, the County Chairman. I think it's an absolute fitting into Sean's reign as County Chairman. He's been a fantastic chairman and a fantastic players, man. Come on, Sean. I'd like to thank the medical staff and our backroom team who came for all of these. All our selfish work is not seen by the public, but the players appreciate it very much. I know it was very hard last year after winning the All-Ireland for a new management to come into this setup, and there was a lot of pressure on them. I'd like to thank the two Gaelies, Sean and Dr. Dave Gady. They've been fantastic, very fair selectors all through the year. I'd like to thank our physical trainer, John Shruckrow, who's had us in peak condition again today. Fantastic work, John. And to the manager, Pat O'Shea. Not too many people might have wanted this job when the previous management left, but Pat took it upon himself to keep Kerry at the top of the table. We've known Pat a long time. He's trained all of us up through the years, and he's proven to be a fantastic Kerry manager. Congratulations, Pat. I'd like to thank the Kerry supporters, one and all. They've been absolute fantastic this year. It's been a fantastic journey. A lot of tight games along the way, but he stuck behind us all the way, and here we are today with Sam. Thanks very much. To Derek Kavanagh, Billy Morgan and the rest of the Cork players, I'd like to say, look, you've had a fantastic year. You've been around now the last couple of years. Today wasn't your day, but I'm sure if you stick with it, you'll have a day up here as well. So, 3 cheers. A Pep. A Pep. Pep. And just a special mention to the referee, David Goulding, his first All-Ireland charge. Thought he did a fantastic job, and all the fellas with him. So, thanks very much.
Yeah, the 2-goal hero, Kieran Johnny, and coming up, the Gooch. Some cheer for him, I'm sure. So there you have it then. Well, Kerry are always